Hi, my name is Frank Schaefer. In the 1970s and 80s, I was my dad's sidekick in the evangelical right wing. We went around the country with Dr. Sierra Coop, who became Ronald Reagan's Surgeon General. We were flying in Jerry Falwell's private jet. We were speaking to audiences of thousands, and we were helping to start the evangelical anti-abortion movement to join conservative Roman Catholics in turning abortion into the litmus test for the Republican Party that would drive politics for the next 35 plus years, culminating in the presidency of Donald Trump. If you had told my dad and I back then, and by the way, I got out of the evangelical movement entirely and the right wing, and now I'm a progressive activist, and I jumped ship in the late 1980s. That said, if you had told us back then that in 2018 the Republican Party would be known as the party of rape, child molesting, woman abuse, and making excuses for people who practice the worst kinds of abuse against others, from locking children in cages away from their parents, from giving billionaires tax cuts while slashing Medicaid spending and trying to cut down on Medicare and Social Security, we would not have believed you. The idea that the Family Values Party that was standing against gay rights, women's rights, for, quote, pro-life causes would wind up being identified with people like Donald Trump, who has opened the door to the Republican Party being redefined as a party that will excuse anything to both stay in power and get its agenda done, whether it's its anti-abortion agenda, anti-gay agenda, whatever. We would not have believed you. We would have said, surely the line would have been drawn that you would never have Republicans going to bat for someone accused of trying to rape a 15-year-old girl, that the Republicans would never have gone to bat for someone like Roy Moore, that numerous women said abused them, and one said tried to rape her when they were also teenagers. We never could have imagined the Republican Party, let alone Republican women, who claim to be church-going, God-fearing citizens, voting for a man like Donald Trump, who admitted, even bragged about on a tape, that he had molested women, grabbed them by their genitals, kissed them without their permission, groped them. A president where more than a dozen women have come forward, believable women, with no political axe to grind whatsoever, talking about how he has groped them, how he has abused them. Stories circulating that he bragged about how he would burst into changing rooms of teenage girls at pageants to sneak a peek at them while they were getting dressed. A man who had gone on the air with people like Howard Stern to brag about the size of his wife's breasts, how he had committed adultery and fooled around while his pregnant wife was at home. A man now being taken to task by porn stars and who paid them off. And that doesn't even get into all the Russia stuff and the politics and the rest of it. I just want to say, like the frog in the experiment that is boiled to death by turning the degrees up 1 point at a time until it dies, not knowing it had ever been heated to the extent that it was going to die, the Republicans become a kind of a hissing and a byword, a curse for generations to look back on, of what happens to people who get so enamored by power that they forget all their first principles. There is nothing left of the evangelical witness in America today. Evangelicalism is now associated with condoning rape, as, for instance, Franklin Graham, leader of the Billy Graham organization, did recently when he said this attempted rape didn't matter because even if it did happen, he said they were both teenagers. So what? The fact of the matter is, the sorry past the white evangelical movement has come to has had an effect on us because they are the bedrock support of Donald Trump. Without them, he's not president. You can take Russia in the equation or out of the equation. The fact of the matter is the white evangelical vote put this man in power, is keeping this man in power. You evangelicals have betrayed your faith, your Jesus, your country, and yourselves. And for women who still support this despicable man and his party, you have betrayed not only your gender, but everything women have been fighting for in terms of not only equal treatment of the feminist type of career orientation, but simply the dignity of being wives and mothers. All of this comes to nothing as you continue to go to bed with this adulterous pig named Donald Trump and everything he's dragged in. And Kavanaugh is just the latest symptom. What did you expect? My name is Frank Schaefer.